Have you ever found something amazing that changed your life forever? Kyle, an experienced outdoorsman and passionate herpetologist, never thought that his walk on the quiet woodland trail would lead to such a moment. Even the biggest doubters would be amazed by what started as a simple exploration and turned into an incredible adventure. Kyle discovered not just a unique snake, but a legendary one, a mysterious snake with a sparkling diamond on its head. Was it a rare mutation, a freak of nature, or something even more special? This is the amazing story of Kyle's discovery, his life-changing journey, and the important lessons he learned about the value of nature. With his boots crunching on the gravel, Kyle carefully walked along the winding woodland trail. The forest was full of life. Birds were chirping, leaves were rustling, and he could hear insects buzzing in the distance. For Kyle, this was more than just a hike. It was a chance to connect with nature and see the many reptiles that lived there. He loved the woods because they always made him feel calm. His passion for reptiles had taken him on many adventures as a hobbyist herpetologist and skilled outdoorsman. There was always something new to find, and he often said, "You just have to keep your eyes open and stay curious." But today, Kyle would discover something he never expected. Even with his experience, he stopped suddenly as he rounded a hill on the trail. There, basking in the sunlight, was a snake he had never seen before. It lay coiled on the ground, its smooth body shining in the sun. But what caught Kyle's attention was the bright diamond on the snake's head, not its shiny scales. His mind raced with possibilities. Later, Kyle said, "I thought I was seeing things, but the more I looked, the more I realized this was real. This was a miracle, not just a snake. It felt like something out of a story." The diamond sparkled as if it were alive, creating tiny rainbows on the forest floor. Standing still, caught between wonder and caution, Kyle's heart raced. He had many questions. Was this a rare mutation, a strange accident of nature, or something truly magical? Excited and curious, Kyle knew he had to take a closer look, but he also understood the risks. Getting too close to a snake he didn't recognize could be dangerous. Even though he had handled snakes before, this one felt different, as if it was watching him just as he was watching it. Kyle quickly took out supplies from his bag and made a simple snake trap. He carefully set it up using a long stick, stump thread, and a plastic container he had brought for collecting samples. His hands shook, not from anxiety, but from the sheer enormity of what he was about to undertake. The snake stayed still, shockingly, almost as though it were waiting for him to act. Kyle set off the trap with the quick and precise motion of a seasoned outdoorsman, gently pulling the snake off the ground and securely into the container. Kyle's mind raced with excitement as he looked at his catch up close, and his breath caught in his throat. A brilliant diamond set in the head of the snake caught the dappled sunlight filtering through the woods. It was hypnotic, more than just attractive, as if it possessed some sort of enigmatic force. The stone seemed to pulse with an inner glow. Up close, the diamond felt even more incredible. It was more breathtaking than he had imagined and sparkled with a brilliance that was out of this world. It seemed flawless, as if it had been crafted by nature with the utmost care. Kyle was amazed. The more he looked at the snake, the more he couldn't believe his eyes. It seemed alive, as if it had a story to tell, not just a diamond. Carefully, Kyle took the diamond from the snake's head. Its beauty was more perfect than anything he had ever seen. As he held it in his hand, he was surprised by its weight and how it caught the light. It seemed to glow from within, and he realized he had found something truly special that could change his life forever. Kyle loved nature and believed in doing the right thing. No matter how incredible the snake was, he knew he couldn't keep it locked up. Letting it go felt like the right choice. The snake belonged in the forest, so he gently released it back into the wild. As it slithered away into the bushes, its diamond-studded head became just a memory, with the diamond safely tucked in Kyle's pocket. Kyle walked back towards civilization, the gem secure in his pocket. Thoughts about the snake and the diamond filled his mind. What was this diamond? How did it end up on the snake's head? And what should he do next? He knew he needed answers, and the best place to start was to have the diamond examined by an expert who could tell him how rare and valuable it was. The next day, Kyle stood in the fancy showroom of a well-known jeweler. The warm lights reflected off many sparkling jewels, and the air smelled of polished wood and velvet. As Kyle approached the counter, the experienced jeweler looked up from his work. His eyes widened in surprise when he saw the stone in Kyle's hand. "May I see that, please?" the jeweler asked, his voice shaking with excitement. Kyle handed over the diamond and watched as the jeweler examined it under a magnifying glass. The jeweler's expression changed from curiosity to shock to disbelief. "Where did you get this?" he asked, his face pale and hands trembling. "In all my years in this business, I've never seen anything like it." Knowing his story might sound unbelievable, Kyle took a deep breath. He told the jeweler everything that happened, from finding the snake to how he handled it. When he finished, the jeweler leaned back in his chair, clearly impressed. With a respectful tone, he asked, "Do you have any idea what you have found?" "This is a legend, not just a rare diamond." The jeweler explained that the diamond was part of an ancient myth. It was said that there was a type of snake born with a diamond in its head, a stone that grew and changed with the snake throughout its life. These snakes were part of folklore for generations, and capturing one and removing the diamond was unheard of, the jeweler said. As the jeweler spoke, Kyle paid close attention. Every word accentuated the weight of his finding. Holding it up to the light, the jeweler said, "This diamond is unlike anything I have ever seen. Its brightness and brilliance nearly suggest that it is alive." He stopped, his eyes narrowing as he looked under a microscope at the stone. He pointed to a faint design buried deep within the diamond and asked, "Do you see this here? This is a trademark of its source, not just a normal imperfection. This pattern has been described in ancient texts and in stories passed down through generations of treasure hunters." Kyle's curiosity was piqued. "You mean people have been looking for this?" he asked. The jeweler nodded. For centuries, the snakes that bear these diamonds are said to be almost mythical. Folklore from many cultures has included them, sometimes as protectors of the forest, other times as omens of great fortune or catastrophe. But there has never been conclusive evidence of their existence until recently. Kyle felt a mix of discomfort and excitement. He loved the simple beauty of nature, but now he was thrust into the high-stakes world of diamond trading, which was both thrilling and frightening. The jeweler became serious, explaining that the diamond was priceless and that if Kyle had brought the snake alive, it would have been worth 10 times more. Kyle's heart sank as he realized the impact of his choice to release the snake, but he knew he had done the right thing. "You're a rare breed, Mr. Kyle," the jeweler said, admiring his values. That day, Kyle left the store with a check larger than he had ever seen, but more importantly, he felt a sense of purpose. The money from the diamond opened doors to a life of wealth and fame, and he found himself mingling with collectors and experts eager to hear his story. People would ask, "You're the guy who found the diamond snake. What was it like?" Kyle would smile and share his incredible experience with the same wonder he felt that day in the woods. Kyle never lost sight of what really mattered to him though. Even with the flash and gloss of his recently changed existence, he channeled his love of the natural world into programs that preserved the woods and animals he so deeply loved. Using his newly acquired riches, he often said, "The world is full of wonders, but if we don't take care of it, those wonders will disappear." Kyle's method of returning the gift to the forest that had given him so much was simple. "It is only right that I help to preserve it." Even with his hectic schedule, Kyle frequently found himself revisiting that fateful day in the forest. Closing his eyes, he could see the sunshine slanting through the trees, the peaceful rustling of leaves, and the sparkling diamond that had irrevocably changed his life. Then he considered the snake and the way it had stared at him before he let it go. He knew it was genuine. Late at night, Kyle would sit on his porch with a view of the large swath of forest, feeling a close connection with his surroundings. He would listen to the sounds of the woods. The forest felt different to him. It seemed to hold more secrets than he could ever imagine. "That snake taught me something," he said quietly. "It showed me that the ones you protect are the true treasures, not the ones you own." Kyle's story became a legend, inspiring many people to explore the hidden wonders of nature. "If there's one thing I've learned," Kyle often told others, "it's that the world is full of magic. You just have to be ready to look for it." As the years went by, Kyle's legacy grew. People continued to find inspiration in his story. For Kyle, the true reward was knowing he had made a difference. He used his once-in-a-lifetime discovery to create something meaningful. He didn't keep the snake, but he treasured the memory and the lessons he learned. One evening, as the sun set, Kyle stood at the edge of the woods, feeling grateful. He thought about the trip that changed his life, the diamond, and the snake. "There's magic in these woods," he said softly, his voice carried away by the evening breeze. "There are secrets waiting for those brave enough to find them." Kyle knew he held a piece of that magic, a reminder of the incredible journey that began with one ordinary stone. While the diamond brought him wealth and fame, it was the snake that taught him the true value of appreciating nature and its beauty. Kyle smiled, feeling at peace. He had become a protector of the wild places and the animals that lived there, a responsibility he would cherish for the rest of his life.